So everybody's gonna get 2 pieces of paper, a piece of acetate paper, which is this see-through plastic here. It comes with a little piece of tissue paper just to keep them from sticking. And a piece of Bristol board. Bristol board is smooth, it has a vellum finish to it. It's the same on the back and the front, so it doesn't matter which side you're using. You're going to need a regular pencil, not a mechanical pencil if you can help it, because mechanical pencils can scratch into this, and then when you go to shade on top of it, you'll end up with ghost lines showing up. You will need your Sharpie and a T-square. The T-square, you have to make sure that the edge of your board is lined up with the blue here, not the edge of the table. So make sure the edge of the ruler is on the edge of your paper, like this. Always measure 3 times. If your lines are off for this, for either of these, then your baby's going to look distorted and it's going to look weird. So it's very important that the grids are accurate on this. So take your time and make sure you do it this way, that you do 3 measurements. So I've lined my ruler up. The blue part is against the board here, and I'm somewhere close to the bottom. You're going to measure every 2 inches. So you can start at the bottom here, the top, it doesn't matter as long as you're going every 2 inches. And I'm making sure that my face is over the ruler. If I'm sitting way back here and I make a mark where I think the 34 is, it's not, it's moved. So make sure your head is directly over that number. And I'm just gently making a little mark every 2 inches. You're going to have 1 inch on one side of this. I have to make sure that I keep the ruler here, because if I flip it, that 1 inch is going to end up over there. So make sure your ruler stays the same. So now it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 all the way across. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Again, you notice I'm moving my head so that I'm directly in line with the mark I'm making on the ruler. And again, this is that extra inch side that I'm going to cut off. Go down here towards the bottom. 2, 4, 6, 8, and it has to be accurate, absolutely accurate. If it's not, you end up with skewed lines. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 sets of dots. They don't have to be equidistant from another. You just want one somewhere close to the bottom, somewhere close to the middle, and somewhere at the top. If you do 2 marks and one of them is off, there's a chance that when you go to line them up, your line's going to be skewed, right? So if you have 3 and one of them's off, you'll notice it. So now that you have 1, 2, 3 sets of dots, you're going to connect them. I like to flip my ruler over just so it lays flat, because this lifts it up off of the page. And I like to stand up when I'm doing this. I line it up so that the ruler is touching all 3 dots. And when you draw your line, hold your pencil way back like this. Loosely, lightly let it just float over your board. Don't dig into it. Some of you I know are going to do it. Don't dig in. Light lines. There we go, all 3 marks. Even just letting it float, you can still see that line. You just don't want it to be super dark. Float across. All right, you're gonna pretend I went all the way down. So the next thing that you're gonna do is measure the boxes this way. Just pretend I have lines all the way down. So this time I'm gonna pick the top line, a middle line, and a bottom line. It really doesn't matter. And again, I'm gonna go 2, 4, 6, 8 all the way across. Slide up here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I'm making my marks up and down so I don't get them confused with these side-to-side marks. There we go. This way you're gonna have an even number. We're gonna pretend that there's a line here. I'm just gonna draw a line. 2, 4, 6. Whoops, 10, 16, 18, all the way across. And then the bottom one. Always making sure this ruler is flush up against the edge of your board so that it gives you an even measurement. 12, 14, 16, 22. And again, once these measurements are done, pretend there's lines going all the way down. You're gonna line all 3 of these up. Hold your pencil loosely from the back. And drift over. No, I moved a little bit there. No. If you make a mistake, sorry, you can fix it. But don't be lazy. If you think you've made a mistake, erase it and fix it. Because like I said, a tiny mistake can make, when you transfer your lines, it can make a big difference. These should be even squares all the way down. So once you've done that, you're going to do the same thing on your piece of acetate, except this is a 1 inch by 1 inch grid. Now to check your accuracy, you can take your Bristol board or your acetate paper and go put it on the paper cutter, because it has a 1/2 inch grid on there, and you can lay it on there and instantly see if you made a mistake or not. So I recommend everybody does this at least once to make sure that your grid is correct. So for this, instead of the T-square, you're going to use the blue ruler. This can be hard because it's see-through, so you have to move your head so you can see the shine. The edge of the page has to be on the 0, not on the edge of the ruler. There's an 1/8 of an inch between the 0 and the edge of the ruler, so make sure you're lined up with the edge of that 0 line. The other line, the other edge of the page should be on the 9. If the edge of the page is not on the 9, something is wrong. So here, you're going to make a dot every inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I moved. I'm moving back. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 is the edge of the page. What do you do if you accidentally make a mistake? You have to start over?
No. You can just wipe it off.
You can erase it. Sharpie is completely erasable on acetate. So if you make mistakes, it's completely erasable. So don't worry about it. So now we're going to the middle. Again, move your head so you can see the shine, so that you can see that it's lined up 0 to 9. Whoops, I guess it would help if I kept that open. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, all the way across. Go to the top. Make sure you can see the edge of the page. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Same thing we did with the T-square. You must line up all 3 dots and draw your line straight down like that. You're going to go all the way down and then measure the other direction so that you get perfect squares. Any questions? All right, thank you.